your Dream Coach podcast, where we talk about what it really takes to build a business, a mission, and a life you love from the inside out. I'm your host, Shayla Wey, and today's topic might be one of the most transformational truths in entrepreneurship. And that is that your business, your team, your department is a reflection, oftentimes, of you. Not your branding, not your pricing, but you as a leader. How you show up, how you lead, how you think, how you make decisions and navigate growth or setbacks. Now, I'm not saying this to put more pressure on you, because I know the first time I heard that, I almost got it defensive and, put my back up a little bit. So I'm saying this to you to help you unlock the power that's already inside you. Because what I have found after years of building, scaling, coaching, and leading is that when you grow, your business grows. So today I'm going to break it down to some core ways that your business reflects you and how leading by example can shift everything, not just in your business, but in your relationships, your self-worth, and your overall fulfillment. So let's dive in. First one I want to talk about is that your energy sets the tone. And I don't know if you've ever walked into a room and just instantly felt that vibe. That actually happens in your business too. And so what I have found is that your energy becomes the baseline for your business culture, whether you're leading a team of 10 or just showing up online. So if you're scattered, your team feels scattered. If you're grounded, your clients feel safe. If you're passionate, your message comes alive. So people don't just respond to what you say. They respond to how you be. And that's why leading by example means taking care of your state first. Before you lead and coach or sell to others or inspire others, you have to be aligned with the energy that you want to transmit. And this was a really big shift for me, because sometimes it's when your business or your team isn't where you want, you take it personally. And I remember I've been there many times. But it's the whole analogy of the oxygen mask in the airplane that I'm sure you've heard before, is if we aren't taking care of ourselves. So how they always say on the airplane, make sure you put your oxygen mask on first. Because without us doing that for ourselves as a leader, then we're useless. We're dead, actually, right? So we want to make sure that we take that same analogy into our business. Is how are we growing? How are we showing up? How's our energy? I've had so many conversations with leaders, executives that are frustrated with where their business is at. And we do a deep dive with them first. What's working, what's not working for them, right? We also need to take a look at our habits, because your habits become your systems. And this one hit me hard too when I realized I was asking my team to be organized, but I was running my own calendar like a tornado. Because the truth is that the way you run your day often becomes the way you run your business. So if you're reactive, your systems feels chaotic. If you're intentional, your business will start to run with ease. And so the more that I would hold myself to consistent habits, planning, follow through, creating clear priorities, the more structure and simplicity I would see ripple across my entire business. Because people aren't just watching what you tell them to do. They're watching what you model. And our confidence is contagious. And so you've probably heard me say this before, but I'll say it again because it's so key, is that people buy from certainty, but they buy belief, they buy energy, and they buy you as their leader. And so what I have found is that if I show up unsure, whether I'm pitching an offer, leading a team meeting, or just coaching a client, that energy spreads. But when I show up believing in my message, owning my worth, and staying rooted in my mission, even the people around me who are doubting themselves start to believe again. You can't outsource confidence. You lead by example when you show what belief looks like in action. Your integrity also shapes your reputation. And here's the thing, is that people may not see every decision you make, but the ripple effect of your integrity or lack of it always shows up in your brand. So do you keep your word even when it's hard? Do you honor your clients and your team when no one's watching? And do you hold yourself to the standards you hold others to? Because what I have found is that long-term success is built on trust. And trust comes from integrity. Leading by example does definitely not mean you have to be perfect. It means honest, human, and consistent. And so when people trust how you lead, they'll want to follow you anywhere. And that was a huge leadership growth moment for me when I learned that imperfection is integrity for me. No one is perfect. So when I would own mistakes and have high integrity around, what was going good or what wasn't going good or areas that maybe I needed help and support with, that builds more of that trust and connection. And in turn, really, really can grow your business in a big way. Your emotional intelligence affects everything. I used to think that leadership was about having the answers. Now I know it's about staying emotionally steady when things go sideways. And things will go sideways. Clients ghost or team members make mistakes. Maybe even launches might flop on you. But what I've learned is that your ability to regulate your emotions, not just ignore them, but hold them wisely, is one of the most powerful ways to lead. If you react with panic, or fear, right? People are going to have that panic reaction. If you respond with presence, people will stay grounded. You set the emotional thermostat. Right? Leading by example here builds psychological safety, and that changes everything. Your growth mindset becomes the ceiling or the catalyst. And so if you've ever noticed that when you're playing small, your whole business contracts with you. So when I've been in my business, when I've let fear or scarcity drive my decisions, cutting corners, avoiding risks, undercharging, my results always reflect that. But when I choose to think bigger, stretch further, and act in alignment with the next level version of myself, things start to expand. And so what I found is that your mindset sets the growth ceiling on your business. Leading by example means doing the personal development work. It means having the courage to invest, to risk, to fail forward. Because when you grow, your business grows with you. Okay? I was working with a coaching client earlier today, and I literally said the same thing. I said, the reason that you've had such massive growth over these last 6 months, right, as I've coached this business, is because this person, I've challenged them to grow. And as they've grown, they've made different changes. That has had a massive ripple effect in their business. Now, your self-worth shapes your business model. So let's get real for a second. Your pricing, your boundaries, your client experience, they all reflect how you value yourself. And so what I found is that the moment I started honoring my time, raising my standards, and creating offers that reflected my true value, everything changed. I attracted better clients, I delivered better results, and I felt more in integrity with my work. So if you're over delivering out of guilt, if you're undercharging out of fear, if you're saying yes when you mean no, it's time to look inward. Lead by example by respecting your own value and watch how your business rises to match that. So here's the big truth is your business isn't built by your website or your content or your offers alone. It's built on you. The way you lead yourself, the way you talk to yourself, and the way you show up when no one's clapping. And so as we recap some of those areas that we want to reflect on, I challenge you to pick one of the areas to lead more intentionally in this week. Maybe it is committing to your morning routine. Maybe it's raising your price. Maybe it's simply taking a pause before reacting to something triggering. Whatever it is, own it. Lead yourself, and you will lead others naturally. Your leadership and the reflections of your business is like a mirror. And as much as that can be frustrating or challenging, or maybe even actually inspiring, it's always something we can grow on. So DM me on Instagram at Shayla Wey Coaching and tell me what you're choosing to lead by example in this week. I'm here to cheer you on. And if this episode spoke to you, subscribe, leave a review, or share it with a fellow leader who's ready to rise. Keep dreaming, keep growing, and keep becoming the kind of leader that your business deserves. Until next time on your Dream Coach podcast.